Ademola Lookman is a Ballon d'Or nominee and the reigning African Player of the Year, and he just ended the season with 27 goal contributions in 40 games. But we're weeks into the transfer window, and clubs are avoiding him like the plague. Even Barcelona, who apparently have eyes on Rashford, a player even Aston Villa wouldn't sign, have not made a bid for Lookman. So, why don't clubs want this seemingly elite forward? Fans believe clubs are scared of a €60 million release clause in Lookman's contract with Atalanta. But that's 100% not the reason. He barely has a year left on his contract with the Italian club, and reports say they'll probably let him go right now for 30 to 40 million euros. So what's the real reason behind the loud silence from the big clubs? After doing some digging, I realized that signing Lookman is a lot more complicated than people think. And the problems come from events that happened earlier in Lookman's career. Ademola Lookman started his career as a promising 17-year-old after joining Charlton Athletic in the English Championship. But despite his young age, he became a regular starter and bagged 12 goals for the club in 2 seasons. So, naturally, Premier League clubs came calling, with Everton eventually getting his signature. Unfortunately, his first stint in the league was a complete failure, as he only managed to score 4 goals for Everton after nearly 3 years with them. He was still quite young, so everyone knew he had plenty of room to grow. After a promising loan spell at RB Leipzig, the German club signed Lookman on a permanent transfer, and they regretted it instantly. The move was a disaster, and after only 1 year, they shipped him back to England on loan, where he once again put in less than inspiring performances while playing for Fulham and Leicester. At this point, most fans had given up on him. But on 4 August 2022, Lookman made the transfer that would change his legacy forever. He signed for Atalanta, and everything clicked. In 3 seasons, Lookman bagged 52 goals and 25 assists for the Italians, including a hat-trick in the 2023-2024 Europa League final. The very next season, Atalanta played in the UEFA Champions League, where Lookman dazzled once again, exiting the playoffs with 5 goals after only 7 games. Everything felt perfect. But in their final UCL match against Club Brugge, Lookman did something that would put a strain on his relationship with the club. He took a penalty many believed wasn't his to take and missed, effectively sealing his team's fate as they crashed out of the competition. Atalanta's then-manager, Gianpiero Gasperini, didn't do Lookman any favors when he described him as one of the worst penalty takers he had ever seen. The public rift between player and manager was later settled internally, but a narrative had been born, one that would affect Lookman. When journalists announced that there were plans in place for Lookman to leave Atalanta in the summer of 2024, no one was surprised. At the prime age of 27, he seemed set to move to a bigger club after proving himself in Serie A and the Champions League. But heading into the second month of the transfer window, nobody seems interested in signing Lookman. All we have are forced rumors involving Napoli and Barcelona, but there has been no concrete discussion between clubs about his signature. Why is that? The most likely reason for the silence is that there is too much uncertainty regarding his ability to deliver, even if he costs only 30 million euros. Lookman has failed at 4 different top-flight clubs in his career, and despite his stellar performances for Atalanta, the clubs that can afford his wages are reluctant to bring him on board. To make matters worse, Lookman's attitude has also come into question. Although loved by fans worldwide, he is currently suffering some bad PR that may be keeping clubs away. In June, an Italian football expert claimed Lookman doesn't follow instructions. It's safe to say that there must be others in the background who share the same belief. This reputation of being unprofessional doesn't only stem from the penalty debacle against Club Brugge, because that wasn't his first controversial miss from the spot. In November 2020, while playing for Fulham, a 23-year-old Lookman took a game-deciding penalty in the dying minutes of the game against West Ham. He tried an awful panica that turned out to be easy pickings for the goalkeeper. Perhaps decisions like that may have fueled whispers of Lookman being difficult to work with. Either way, any club signing him will be taking a significant risk. But is he worth it? The stats and eye test certainly say so. Lookman is an effective forward that can operate centrally or out wide. Clubs may be reluctant now, but we still have a few months to go in the transfer window, and it's highly unlikely Atalanta lets him go for free next summer. Soon, a club may be desperate enough to take a chance on Lookman before the window ends. If you enjoyed this video, you'll love our other content on this channel, where we answer more of football's puzzles.